And we are live.
You ever just dance to the music?
Yeah, sometimes I do that. What up, Billy?
What up,
Welcome back.
though? Yeah, man, I'm here. My voice is I'm fighting like you right now. My voice is going through it, but I'm here. I feel good, man.
That's good, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It is February 28th, 2025, and it's the last day of the month. And what's crazy is it's Friday, and I'm super excited being that it's Friday. We're going to have a good weekend, some big plans this weekend. Plus, we got Elimination Chamber, which obviously we're going to talk about today, which obviously makes me incredibly excited.
Yep.
Obviously, a lot of things have been happening in the world of wrestling lately. And, Billy, it's so strange, dude. It is so strange because I feel like right now, as it stands, Elimination Chamber is kind of like there's definitely hype for it.
Yeah, there is. There is.
But we're at that weird time before WrestleMania
where it's so hard to get like fully invested into something.
Yes, until WrestleMania. Yes, I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking this way?
No, so here's the thing. Like, I was talking to my girl and I was like, man, like I'm super excited for the Chamber, but also at the same time, I'm like, it's the last little stop before WrestleMania. So I'm actually waiting for what happens after the Chamber.
Yeah.
Because I think that's really when we'll get the full excitement. But overall, very exciting time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Very, very exciting time. And, I'll say this, man, like right now, like I'm excited for the Chamber, but I'm just more excited for WrestleMania. And I feel like I just want to get through with this so we can like really start the road to WrestleMania.
Let's just get to the point. Let's get to the point.
Yeah. Definitely interesting card. We're definitely going to talk about it and make our predictions today.
Yep.
If you guys want to support the stream, you guys want to share your predictions and have your predictions read on the stream, or you want to ask questions or add to maybe our predictions, please feel free to drop a super chat. It guarantees that your questions get read. We'll start the stream off with a shout out to Dwayne Piazza, who has renewed his membership for 13 months on the channel. He says, good morning from Don Piazza. Well, good morning to you, Don. Thank you for your support. Dude, this is crazy. This is crazy. We have a very, very big Elimination Chamber card.
Yeah, the card it's a stacked card.
It is a stacked card. And so we'll see, obviously, if there's any late additions. We don't know.
Because we do have SmackDown tonight.
We do have SmackDown tonight.
And then what time is the kickoff? 5?
6, I think.
6, yeah, because that's tonight, right?
Maybe it is 5.
Yeah, because I feel like it would come on a couple hours before.
Yeah, maybe it's 5.
It could be even earlier. They could be doing it this morning.
No. It's before SmackDown.
Oh, no.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, it'll be interesting to see what they do. A 5-match card, Triple H staying with that. And
so it's a 4-match card with Rock and Cody.
Is it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I guess you're right. Yeah, 4 matches. Wow. I thought it was 5 matches, but you are right. There is a segment.
Yep.
There is a segment between Rock and Cody. Yeah. Okay. So it is a lighter card. They have sold out. Elimination Chamber, obviously big numbers. Toronto, people are going crazy. So that's going to be very interesting to see what the energy's like. Obviously, it's a very big venue and very big. I mean, WWE at this point, they can feed people bird shit, dog shit, and
they'll buy it.
I think people are going to buy it regardless. So, I don't know, man. I'm excited, but like I said, I'm really just looking towards WrestleMania, which makes it a little bit more difficult.
I see a lot of people agreeing with us in the case of like it seems interesting right now. We're just in this really weird time of pro wrestling.
Yeah, yes, weird, bro. I don't know. It's not like wrestling is bad, but I just feel like you mentioned it the other day on the stream where it's like fatigue.
Yeah, and burnt out.
It's so strange, like especially like covering pro wrestling daily. I feel like lately, for as much as that's happening, there's not as much to talk about.
Yeah, so I think here's the thing. It's kind of like just regular media, right? Regular news. when you get so much of an influx of regular news, eventually you get tired and you get fatigued, right? It naturally happens to us, and you get, in some cases, burnt out. But here's the good thing, though. I see some people in the chat, they're saying, right now there's not a lot of interest in WrestleMania. WWE, they're trying to change the ways here. They're trying to make every PLE, quote unquote, interesting.
Yeah.
That way you're not just focused on what's happening at WrestleMania. The problem is we still have that stigma right now where we think that all of these PLEs don't really matter and WrestleMania is what truly matters, but they do something as important as The Rock and Cody in that situation, to where that is going to be a big deal on a PLE that is not WrestleMania. It plays a factor at WrestleMania, but the importance of it is happening at the Elimination Chamber.
Yes. One thing I will add to that too,
Yeah.
which is a very interesting idea, but WWE doesn't charge $50 for PLEs.
No, so they can really do what they want.
Exactly. And I think that's like a really key thing that people do forget. You are not paying per pay-per-view. Now, I will tell you, there was rumors years ago, last year, 2 years ago, Nick Khan even kind of twiddled with the idea, hey, maybe WWE will charge for PLEs again.
Yeah.
And I personally just want to make this clear. With the way WWE conducts their shows, I would never, ever, ever, ever support that idea. And I think it's really interesting because in a strange situation, like AEW Revolution is a perfect example. AEW Revolution is looking like the best AEW pay-per-view that they've put on, honestly, in like 3-4 years. Like it's really heating up, right?
Yeah.
So I'd be willing to pay $50 for the pay-per-view, right? But like if you look at All Out last year, or if you look at World's End or some of their other pay-per-views, Forbidden Door, like to me, those pay-per-views didn't have a build where I feel like paying that money is justifiable. Now with WWE, because I don't have to pay for pay-per-views, and I already use Peacock, right? Like I use Peacock for all the movies and other sports and other things that they have. So for me personally, like it's a little bit different. Like I see people get mad, like, oh, okay, 4 matches, like that's not enough. But like you're not paying for
exactly
that,
so technically you pay for Peacock, and like me, for instance, I'll just use my own personal thing. I love watching Law and Order. It's like my favorite pastime when I'm sitting by myself. So watching Law and Order SVU is something that I constantly do. So my usage of Peacock, I feel with all that I have access to, I'm getting a bang for my buck, plus being able to watch the WWE PLEs without any complaints.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I always have. So we can sit here, we can talk back and forth about, is WWE right for it? Are they wrong for it? Truth of the matter is, no matter what people think, they are right for it. What they're doing is the right way. It's the new modern day age. The streaming is what works. It just is. The whole $50 thing, it just doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't. But like I said, Revolution's looking good. I'll pay $50 to watch Revolution.
I will, because I'm actually a big fan of the card.
Yeah, like I think it's a very, very, very solid card so far. But you got to think like, and this is where wrestling has obviously changed quite a bit. But like with the Elimination Chamber, like I don't feel cheated, right? Because even though I'm more excited to get to WrestleMania, I don't feel cheated because at the end of the day, I'm not paying for the pay-per-view.
Right.
Now, if WWE were to try to slap a $50 price point or a $30 price point,
I'm going to monitor everything that you're doing because I need to know if it's worth my dollar.
Exactly. So there is a difference with how they conduct business. And I think I would encourage, I know it's not going to happen, but I would really encourage even AEW to get to the point where they're just streamed pay-per-views. You don't pay extra for it. Yeah. Because if you want to charge for WrestleMania or if you want to charge for All In, right? Yeah. You can do those at $50. People will do it. $60, $70, people will do it. But I think there's just so many filler pay-per-views in wrestling. This is honest to God, like this is one of my things I say about TNA, WWE, and AEW. A lot of these pay-per-views feel like filler. WWE has done a good job of getting people excited for their pay-per-views, and obviously this card is pretty impressive when you look at it. But it doesn't change the fact that it's 4 matches in a segment with The Rock and Cody,
Yeah.
which God knows what's going to happen there. It could be really good, or it could just downright be bad. And obviously, we'll talk about our predictions. But
Yep.
I just think it's a different model, and I think for this model, I can't be too mad. But I will say, like, I do think, WWE has to. They really have to come out swinging hard with this.
Yeah, they do, because they have to wake people up.
Yeah.
Because I'm somebody right now, me personally, I'm somebody that needs to be woken up. I'm not as interested as maybe I was for the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So they need to wake me up a little bit, and they need to tell me that, hey, the Elimination Chamber is just as important, because we know the stakes at the Elimination Chamber are important. We know what they mean. But the problem with it is that it's just a lack of fatigue right now. I'm tired.
Yes.
Make it feel fun to me again.
Yes. Yeah,
Shock
I agree.
me a little bit.
We need a little bit of that in WWE.
We need some shock factor right now.
And there is an opportunity there for them to do so, and we're obviously going to talk about that. I want to start things off, Billy.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a super chat, so let me get.
We got a couple of them.
Oh yes, there was. Okay. Phil Betway dropping a $9.99. He says, "Where are you, Michigan boys, watching the Chamber at? I'm watching it at a viewing party at DraftKings Social in Troy. They are giving away the Stone Cold belt raffled off. That is really cool."
Fun fact, I'm not going to say who, but I have family that works at DraftKings.
Yeah, that's I'm
never leave my personal info out, but yes.
Yeah, I've never been there. I've heard of it. I've never been there. I don't know if it's any good or
So
anything.
the person that works there tells me all the time that it's great. And I actually got invited to watch the Royal Rumble there. From my understanding, they have a really good time at DraftKings.
Wow, that's cool. We need places.
It's really cool because if you do like if you gamble or anything like that, not to promote too much, but it's a geo tag.
Yeah, see, I'm actually sponsored by DraftKings. So
DraftKings is a geo tag. So anytime you walk in there, they do like profit boosts and stuff like that on DraftKings.
That's
so
cool.
Shout out DraftKings, my boy, sponsored by you guys. There you go.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool though. That's pretty cool because obviously your locations and your phone.
It
you walk in there. So yeah, no, that's exciting though.
It is, and yes, I did know about the Stone Cold belt.
That's cool.
I actually put my name in there.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm watching at home.
I'm watching it with my girl.
Yeah. That's.
I got her super interested in wrestling now.
Yeah. I showed my girl Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest refight, and she was really impressed by it. And then it's funny because sometimes I'll come over like after the gym or something, and then. What do you have on TV? NXT. What do you have on the TV? Monday Night Raw. I'm like, oh, she knows.
Bro. My girl texted me the other day. She was like, because I've been at home sick. I was like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's like, oh, me and my mom are sitting here watching wrestling. I'm like, bro,
it's good. Anytime you can make that happen, it's good.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, I think in Michigan, there used to be a couple places that did watch parties that were really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not really hip to it anymore like these days, but I know Dave and Buster's at one point was doing things like nationwide with watch parties, which was cool.
Well, DraftKings now is like the one place that like they're constantly doing WWE watch parties.
That's cool.
They did one for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's really cool. One day I'll have to check it out. Maybe I don't know because WrestleMania we do.
Let me know. We can link up and we can go up there. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be sick. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But anyways, Phil, good luck to you. Maybe you win the Stone Cold belt and have a good time, man. That sounds like a good time. So yeah, definitely excited to see what happens there. Thank you for the super chat. Tolino Channel dropped 100 rupees. He says the best angle to take title from Cody is by screwing Cody. Only interested story is Zayn versus Kevin Owens and men's Elimination Chamber. Also, your comments on Julia taking time off. Yeah, so I'll tell you guys what match I'm most interested in, which story I'm most interested in when we get to the predictions.
Yeah.
I predicted something the other day, Monday or whatever it was. I pretty much told you guys, hey, we're going to talk about it.
Yes.
And I'm very excited about that because now I can break it down even more in depth. Comments on Julia taking time off. I'm not buying it. I don't believe that Julia is taking time off,
She's
and
the champion right now.
yeah, it's champion versus champion, and
Yeah.
she might be banged up or whatever, but there has been no indication that that's confirmed.
Most people, I can imagine, if they take any time off, would be after like stand and deliver.
Yeah, I'm right now when it comes to Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer, whatever they talk about, I think largely is just not.
Ha ha ha. That's what I
Yeah.
think of it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I'm not there.
He said, I'm not buying it.
I'm not. And listen, I said this before, man, on my channel. I talk about news all the time.
Yeah.
Take everything with a grain of salt. The dirt sheets, media companies, all these news companies,
man.
like, no, man, take it all with a grain of salt. I think there's people, even people with good accuracy. I think at the end of the day, the information is fed by some stooge backstage.
Yeah, dude.
That's really what it is.
The thing about it is there will be people that are wrong.
Yeah, but I think, you know, if you want to control the media and whatever, and you want a certain thing out there, you want people to know a certain thing, you just feed them information.
Right.
I don't think people even understand to the scale of how much it happens, but I get fed information all the time. And like, I'm reluctant to talk about it on YouTube because I think sometimes when you're fed information, like, you just know, like, deep down inside, I think you know that they want that information out there to a certain extent for whatever reason it may be. So me personally, I'm not, you know, as far as Julia taking time off, I'm not bought into it. I don't think that's the case. And there's been no indication from her or WWE that like any of that's true. And I mean, you never know, but obviously
I still don't.
You know, people are saying, well, why are they doing the match at Roadblock? It's because Julia's taking time off. No, they're doing it at Roadblock because they're doing it at the theater at Madison Square Garden and they want to sell tickets. And people need to understand
sell tickets.
They want to sell tickets. And the way you do that is by putting big marquee matches. And then obviously after the Roadblock episode, they're going to build towards stand and deliver. So I'm not buying into that shit.
No.
Sorry. Not sorry. Don't care. But shout out to Tolino Channel for the super chat. Appreciate you, man. All right, Billy. First match we'll talk about. We'll just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax, Candice LeRae tag team women's match.
Tiffany Stratton's winning. Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus. There. I mean, that on the wall. Like if you like post that just on a wall, and you put two images up.
Yeah.
Candice LeRae, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus. Who the hell do you think is gonna win?
Yeah, I think that's like the easiest prediction ever.
Yeah, I mean it don't get more easy than that. Especially because you have the two Toronto boys fighting later in the night.
Yeah.
You need something to like really just make the crowd super duper happy. Nobody better than Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Toronto's own. Come on, man.
So it's such an easy prediction, right?
Yeah.
But I think WWE has been cooking up a little bit with their women's division and like splitting up and things like that. They did the thing with Tiffany breaking away from Nia Jax.
Yeah.
I wonder, because Candice LeRae is getting airtime. Candice LeRae is getting TV time, and like she's actually doing really well on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I do think at some point they are going to want to move Candice LeRae into the Women's United States Championship picture.
Because
she's
they need somebody over in that picture.
For sure, right?
Yeah.
Somebody other than Mia Yim and Chelsea Green.
Right.
So I'm curious if maybe, like, yes, Tiffany and Trish win. Maybe you do something with Charlotte and Tiffany after, whatever it may be. But I'm curious if they do something here where maybe Candice LeRae takes the pin, Nia Jax walks away from her, or Nia Jax takes the pin and Candice LeRae walks away.
Yeah, because I think now it's time to start, letting Nia Jax be off on her own. You could even put her in, you can keep her in the world title picture because I think she just kind of has that vibe around her that she's always going to be tied to that picture.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I'd agree with you actually. Big time there.
That's the thing I care most about here, because Tiffany and Trish, like, I'm not as invested in with them tag teaming, to be honest. However, I am invested in the idea of them doing more with the women's mid card, obviously. Like we know Charlotte, and this is the thing I hate about the match. Like we know Charlotte versus Tiffany's happening at WrestleMania. So like
Right.
Trish kind of being there is random in a way, but that's fine. It's Toronto.
Yeah,
and
it's just because it's the hometown thing. And
yeah,
I think
like that's fine.
I think Tiffany's always had the tie to Charlotte, and then she's had the tie to Trish. Just the same way Charlotte had the tie to Trish.
Yeah.
Like just the comparison. I think Tiffany now falls into that line. So
Yeah.
I think that's like the reason why people want to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Definitely.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. We'll see kind of what happens, right? Like
For sure.
I definitely agree with that. My pick is very easy though. Tiffany and Trish win.
Yeah, same. Count me in.
Yeah. Let's see. Give me 1 second.
What's this guy got going on over there? And by the way, I just had to say this. You said Mia Yim. You jackass. Her name's Meechin.
Yeah, whatever.
Get her name right.
Yeah,
It's
oops.
Saints. It's Gunther. It's Meechin.
The thing is though.
What's that?
WWE was flip-flopping so hard on her name for a long time.
They were.
To be fair.
I was sitting here thinking about it. That shit lived when you said it. That lived in my head rent free.
That's funny.
I was like, no, her name's Meechin.
Yeah, no. Mia Yim.
It should be Mia Yin, but
same shit. Meechin, Mia Yim, I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
That was always a weird name change thing.
It was.
But yeah. Justin Kennington dropped $4.99. He says, if Tiffany wins at Mania, will she have a feud with Trish? Now, I'm glad this is being brought up.
Mm-hmm.
I do think to a certain extent, you could do that feud.
Yeah, I think you could do it either way, whether Charlotte wins or whether Tiffany wins.
I would much rather. I don't have any.
So would I.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you could do that either way. I don't want to see a world where Charlotte wins. I don't.
It's gonna happen.
We'll have a prediction show for WrestleMania, but it shouldn't happen.
Yeah. The WWE just creams themselves over.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't.
Tiffany's not walking out of WrestleMania as.
I beg to differ.
No.
I beg to differ.
No.
We'll have that conversation when it's time.
Yeah, Justin, I do think though Trish will be involved after
in some degree.
Yeah. I could see her having a big program for SummerSlam with Tiffany Stratton. I could see her having a big program with Charlotte. I just want to make this clear, though. No disrespect to Charlotte. She is very incredibly talented.
She is.
I want fresh faces, bro.
Same.
Tiffany was a fresh face.
Yep.
You got Candice LeRae and Chelsea Green, Piper Niven.
Make that United States card special. Make the SmackDown. We've talked about it numerous times over on this and this show. SmackDown needs some kind of revamp in all spaces right now.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is just make it more exciting. It's really not hard. They have great talent.
Yeah. Go away from 3-hour SmackDowns.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah, just get away from 3-hour SmackDowns. That's
just
really...
3-hour wrestling. I don't care what nobody says is tough.
WWE Raw is a perfect example.
Yes.
2.5 hours, 3 hours. It's like perfect. I don't care. Raw is the best wrestling show and NXT is the best wrestling show. I think those shows are very, very, just very, very good.
Yeah.
And I don't think SmackDown is as good. So, but look, SmackDown maybe tonight we'll see them kind of get back on track. Who knows?
Yeah.
I just think they are struggling, and the solution to that isn't necessarily bringing back a legend, which is Trish Stratus.
That's never the answer.
Yeah.
It never is. I'm a person who believes that everybody should be getting TV time, and I feel like a legend should not be coming in. If you want to bring a legend in to have a moment or something like that, I'm always cool with that. But I think when it comes, or if you're utilizing them right, but I think overall you should be utilizing new talent.
Now, if you're going to have Trish, for example, build a program with Tiffany,
that's a different story.
Different story,
right?
Or Candice LeRae or Chelsea Green, right? Like, there's a million things.
If you're advancing new talent,
Yeah. Justin followed up with that with another super chat for $1.99. He says you could put Becky and Charlotte in the mid card. So the thing is, yes, you could. However, this is where it gets a little tricky. On Raw, it makes more sense for Becky to be in the mid card because we saw what she did with the NXT Women's
And we
Championship.
saw
she
what
was
she's
defending
done
it.
with Lyra, right?
Yes. So there is a lot of validity to that. I don't think Charlotte will ever be in the mid card on SmackDown. I just don't think so.
No, I think you've talked about it here, and I just refuse to believe it because I don't want to. But it is the truth. It's that Charlotte Flair is the Roman Reigns of that division.
Yeah. No, she is.
Yeah.
She is the final boss of the women.
Yes, there's no doubt.
And it would be really cool if Charlotte Flair was repackaged into something more serious, but
she's just always been the queen.
Yeah.
Kept that gimmick for so long. And I think they've tied her too much to her dad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I
hate Ric Flair, so like as I'm just saying, like I don't.
Not a Ric Flair guy?
Brother, I've told you this before on a stream.
I know.
And this is the funniest thing because I always get criticized and I see the comments. Growing up, I didn't give a shit about Bret Hart. I didn't give a shit about Shawn Michaels. I didn't give a shit about Ric Flair. There was just so many other wrestlers and so many other performers and characters that I liked way more when I was a kid.
Really?
So, yes, 100%. When I was going to All Out in Chicago.
Who were you rooting for as a kid?
Who was I rooting for as a kid? You know, it's really interesting. I was always a massive Undertaker fan.
Okay,
right?
that's fair. That's a good choice.
Well, but here's the thing, right? Like, I was a massive fan of the Undertaker, and then I think largely like when I was younger, like especially WCW, obviously Sting.
Yeah.
But for me, like I don't know what it was about like WCW. I think it was always like, man, I like the Luchadors. I like Rey Mysterio Jr. Like I like the cruiserweight division. Like that was always my thing. Even when like the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression era, to me, I was always a big fan of like these lesser known guys. Like I don't know how to explain it, but that's just the way it was. Like even like.
Can I be honest and tell you who one of my favorites was?
Who?
He was in WCW and he was in WWE. And I was just a really big fan of his theme song, and we had the same name. Billy Kidman.
Yeah.
Dude,
Billy Kidman was sick. I don't know. Like, bro, it was so funny because a lot of people just don't know this about me. But like I do feel like back in the day, it was just that's how it was. I always liked the cruiserweights. I always remember, especially like with WCW. And I don't know why I was this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like huge fan of Booker T, right? I always loved Booker T as a kid. WCW, WWE. Yeah, like I just always loved Booker T, right? So the thing is, like, especially when you get into the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression era, like to me, it was like I didn't care about Shawn Michaels. I didn't care about Ric Flair. Like I remember when Ric Flair came in as like the general manager or whatever for yeah. Like I didn't care about that. Like people got so excited. I remember going to school and people were like, "Oh my god, Ric Flair." I'm like, no.
I remember the whole thing with Eric Bischoff too. I was like,
yeah,
because I'm younger, so I was I think 3 when WCW was sold. So when Eric Bischoff came in, that was around the time where I started like watching and getting like involved.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh my God, Eric Bischoff." And I was like, "Who?" I was like, "He's just the jackass on TV."
Yeah.
That's all I knew him for. I didn't know him as the evil bad guy that destroyed Vince for 83 weeks.
Yeah. So here's like another funny thing, right? Like DX and NWO. Like back in the day as a kid, NWO fan. And it didn't matter if they had 20, 30, 40 million members in the group. I loved the NWO. I always thought DX was just like cringy. Like that's how it was. Yes. You go back and you start to appreciate it a little bit more or whatever.
Right.
But like
but at the
when
time,
I was young,
it was probably cringy.
Yes. So I know we got really far away from what the super chat was, but my point that I'm making is I never liked Ric Flair when he showed up in TNA. I never liked Ric Flair, and I'm never going to use Ric Flair against Charlotte, but like building her whole gimmick and being the queen and basically being Ric Flair's daughter to me is just not really entertaining. It's not. And for as talented as she is and everything, like, man, you saw what they did with the final boss with Roman Reigns. Like it completely transformed. you can you could remix that,
Yeah, I
they
agree.
didn't do that. And also, by the way, this is another funny thing, just since we're speaking about the past. When it came to like WCW,
Mhm.
a lot of people didn't know that I love WCW more than WWE. Like a lot of
Whoa.
people didn't know that. Yeah, I was a huge
You liked another company besides WWE?
brother. I was pretty much like anti WWE my entire life. A lot of people don't know that. Like
Wow.
the only time, what I loved most about WWE back in the day,
Huh.
I loved watching Saturday Night Velocity and Sunday Night Heat because it
Dude,
was the lesser known people.
yeah,
So
dude,
like I always
some
loved that.
people would say you're a grifter.
Yeah, no, I know it's crazy.
Yeah, some people would say you're on Triple H's payroll,
Yeah,
you work for Nick Khan.
yeah. But it is funny thinking about this. WCW, if you go back and watch it, it was fucking terrible. But as a kid, to me, it was just amazing. It's like I really loved Yokozuna back in the day when I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
young.
yeah.
But like I remember like going back in time. Obviously, Yokozuna wasn't in WCW.
Right, right,
And
right.
I looked into it like as to why that never happened. Like I was shocked. And
Yeah,
obviously the internet still existed, but it wasn't as like prevalent. But like
right.
back in that time, Yokozuna wasn't allowed in WCW because of like some athletic commission thing because of his weight or
Yeah,
whatever. It
because
was
of
like
how
some
big he
weird thing.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was like some weird shit. Now, obviously, as a kid, I didn't know that. But like if Yokozuna was in WCW, I would have been really freaking happy because I was a Yokozuna fan. Like there's just certain things as a kid you don't understand. And then when you get older, you go back and you're like,
And you
okay.
understand it more.
Obviously, as I got older, like I went back and I watched, like personally, a lot of people they forget about this. And I know this is just becoming a crazy conversation, but it's okay. That's why our live streams are so fucking fun.
Yeah, bro, because you never
Bro,
know what's gonna happen here.
literally dead ass. I remember as a kid, I did not give a fuck about the Attitude Era. I did
Yeah,
not. I did
yeah,
not think it was good. I went back and watched shit on Peacock or Netflix or whatever. And to this day, I think the storytelling
yeah,
and
dude.
the DQs all the fucking time was ass. Like
Yeah,
it was
bro.
always an interference or always a DQ.
I'm a ruthless aggression kid.
Me too.
I grew up in the ruthless
Yeah.
aggression era. So I watched the Randy Ortons, the Brock Lesnar's, the John Cena's, the Batistas. So my like fandom came from that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In that time of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, I was an Eddie Guerrero fan. So obviously I went back and I discovered then what was WCW and why he left, or why
Yeah.
Dean Malenko and all those guys. So I started to appreciate that side of pro wrestling more. So I was actually like, if I'm being honest, I was a SmackDown kid.
Me
I,
too.
I loved watching SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like
Well,
I said, man, I go back. Velocity and Sunday Night Heat were my favorite things ever. Something about Jamie Noble and Tajiri and Billy Kidman and like some of
bro,
those guys.
bro,
Like,
Jamie Noble. Do you remember that feud that he had with the girl, the blind, when she was
yeah.
blind or whatever? I forget her, Nadine or something like that.
Yeah.
Nadia.
Bro.
Nadia was her
Nadia,
name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Fucking good times.
Jimmy Wang Yang.
Yeah. Oh, I fucking love him. Phil extended his membership for 8 months. He says death, taxes, and Charlotte winning gold. Yeah.
Facts. Hey, shout out
Pretty
Phil,
much.
man. I watched the stream. That man killed it.
Oh, he's great. I love it. And
Love
we'll
Phil,
have him
man.
back and we'll do 3-ways and
Yeah.
that sounds kind of
Well,
weird.
hold
but
on. Pause.
Yeah,
Pause.
we'll definitely have Phil back. All right, moving on. Shout out to Phil. Bocce Ball Pro dropping 5. He says, if you have Charlotte win at Mania, you have to have Jordan dethrone her. So this was something I was going to say. We're not going to talk about WrestleMania today because we are talking Elimination Chamber. But we talk about fresh faces. If Charlotte drops the belt to Julia, to Stephanie Vaquer, Jordan Grace, all 3 of those women are WrestleMania main event worthy at this point.
Mhm.
They have to. They have to. So
Yeah. I mean,
what I would do, I mean, just quick 30 seconds on this.
yeah.
Fallon Henley should get called up, go to the women's mid card on SmackDown. She would
Yep.
be a great women's US champion.
Yep.
When Fallon Henley gets called up, you have your Jada Parkers and some of the other women there. Keep them in NXT. Then at some point you call up Julia and Stephanie Vaquer and you call up Jordan Grace. It is going to hurt NXT temporarily, but it's okay because they have so much women there that are great. So now you could start doing some fresh feuds for the women's championships there. And then obviously Jordan, Julia, Stephanie. I think whether it's Charlotte, whether it's Rhea, Bianca, Io, whoever's champions, right? Whoever is those champions, I think you have those massive feuds that are fresh, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
They got to get to that point, though. They have to introduce some new talent to the main roster. I know what's happening. I'm excited about it, but Charlotte is not the answer.
And she's not always going to be the answer because
No,
right now they use her as that.
exactly. Shout out to Bocce Ball Pro. Toledo Channel says Jay versus Gunther is starting to get fuel off. Throwing Tozawa, Otis, Waller, Theory, and mid-card acts is not a solution until WrestleMania. WWE needs to work on it. I disagree entirely. I feel like Raw has perfected the mid-card, and I feel like they've perfected the main event scene. I think they have some issues in their women's mid-card, but other than that, I think Raw has very, very few issues. Billy, what is your response?
My response is I disagree with you because I actually wasn't a fan of the Tozawa Gunther thing. I know that we talked about it a little bit that you were kind of a fan of it because of just I think it's like very old school to what WWE has done. Get the champion, let them let him beat up on somebody, whatever the case. The problem with it is that eventually Otis came in and Gunther ran off. And to me, that makes your champion he looks less thereof, if that makes any sense.
I disagree with that.
See, because you're probably going to disagree and say, oh, it's because he's a heel champion. So it makes sense.
No,
the problem with
no.
it is Gunther is still Gunther and he's a dog. He's a beast.
Gunther is a man of respect. That was a moment that he respected Otis to not get involved with him, which is the right call.
How does that?
What kind of explanation would you like as to why I'm saying he respects Otis?
Yeah, because what sense does that make? Why does he need to respect Otis?
Well, I think it's a sign that he looks at Otis like a little bit of a threat.
Okay, that's fair.
If you look at Otis like a little bit of a threat, I think there's a very unique,
Yeah, I guess
obviously Otis is not going to be fighting Gunther, but my point that I'm making is that like they have a little something there they could work on.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Brian McHattie dropping 5. He says, has the Charlotte shtick run its course? Gets injured, goes away, remaining women step up, advance it, make it better, come back, shoved in on top. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, no, 100%. I 1,000,000% on that. And, that's why, like, when I picked Tiffany and Trish winning this tag team match for Elimination Chamber, the way that I'm looking at it is that, like, okay, that's cool. But now you really got to do something to sell me on Charlotte's WrestleMania match because I'm not buying it.
It's so hard to get invested on Charlotte.
Again, I respect the fuck out of her, bro. She is incredibly talented, but it's ran its course.
It has.
You can only rely on the Queen gimmick so much. And to be fair, Triple H, I don't want to use this against Triple H, but like Vince McMahon was the one who really, obviously Triple H booked her in NXT extremely well. But Vince McMahon puts her on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, Vince was the problem to why she's the stick that she has is run its course.
Yes. And I feel like with Triple H, it's just really hard to rehabilitate that. I do.
Yeah.
So the only way to do that is, hey, give her some sort of new serious character that's not the Queen.
Yep.
Maybe have her lead a faction. Maybe have her, take some
you could even do the Queen thing. Just revamp it.
Just something different. I don't know. And like I said, I'm not gonna hide my feelings, man. They buy in too much they invest too much into she is Ric Flair's daughter.
Yep.
And I don't like Ric Flair. Never have. So to me, it's like, okay, like maybe if she was somebody else's daughter, I would have a different opinion on it. But like I don't really care for Ric Flair. And I think Ric Flair, like that whole thing, like with the robe and the coming out, like this styling and profiling, and even Charlotte, she's used some of his lines in her promos before, and she obviously has that Ric Flair inspiration in her character a little bit. And I don't know, just to me, 100%. I think Charlotte's thing has run its course.
Yep.
Hopefully at Elimination Chamber they do something with her to get me sold on their match, because right now I feel like Charlotte's going to go in, beat Tiffany, and then I'm going to be disappointed. So they got to do something about that. Maybe, this is definitely a wait and see type of thing, but just historically with Charlotte, this is literally how it works. Gets injured, goes away, people step up, they do their thing, she comes in, and then literally gets shoved back into the top.
Yep.
And it's really hard to get behind people naturally when they're just always on top. You get behind people when they're chasing. You get behind people when they have a great comeback story. And they could have done that with Charlotte. But you can't do that with Charlotte when she's a 15, 16, 23, 55, 100-time women's champion. Like she's literally got an insane amount of title reigns, and they're all pretty meaningless because they're not relatively long. They didn't really have massive things. And again, just historically, that's kind of what they've done with her. So that's why I'm like this. That's why I feel the way I do.
It's so funny because you sounded like R-Truth there. I'm 24/7, 364.
Yeah. Yeah. David Primero dropping $4.99. Even on the love department, Charlotte wants to beat her dad with most marriage and divorce. I'm not used to seeing her on TV, but maybe put her on Involved Help. David, thank you for your super chat. However,
I ain't commenting on that.
Yeah, I'm not. As far as their personal lives and who they marry and divorce,
That shit ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, you guys know I don't talk about that kind of stuff on this channel. Never do, never will. That's their personal lives, and I'm not here to judge somebody's personal life. As far as putting her on Evolve, no. I mean,
no, they do. You maybe have her show up on Evolve one time for one episode and like stare somebody down, kind of like the Undertaker, John Cena shit.
Yeah,
but other than that, no, do not put her on Evolve.
Yeah. No, she's talented, bro. We're not gonna sit here and act like Charlotte's not talented.
Come on.
But I do appreciate the super chat.
Right.
But no comment on the marriage and divorce stuff. That to me is
nope,
it's not relevant. And to be honest with you, that's
we're here to talk about pro wrestling, not personal.
Yeah. Toledo Channel dropping 40 rupees. Where will Cena end up? His last WrestleMania should be epic.
Can we talk about it now? Can we talk about it?
Nope. We're gonna keep going through the card. We'll get to it though.
All right.
So Toledo Channel, stay patient. We're getting to it. Next match on the card. Let's talk about the women's chamber match. Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair versus Bayley versus Naomi versus Roxanne Perez versus Liv Morgan. Billy, the floor is yours.
I would like to see. Okay, so if I'm just going based off winner, I'd actually like to see Bianca win. I want Bianca to win because I think her and Rhea Ripley is a match that we all have kind of wanted to see since the NXT days.
Yeah.
But I also think it can tie into the storyline that's currently going on based with her and Jade Cargill and Naomi and stuff like that. But if it's not Bianca Belair, right? If it's not, this is a long shot. But if you remember, guys, last year, Tiffany Stratton had a really good showing in the chamber. Yeah. And that's actually what made Tiffany Stratton kind of who she is today.
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez is a person that I would like to see do something special in the chamber.
Yeah.
Especially after her stand in the Royal Rumble. Yeah. I think her now officially being up on the main roster, this is a really good time for WWE to show off Roxanne Perez's skills.
Yeah.
So, okay, my pick, I'm going with Bianca, but my long stretch is that I'd really like to see Roxanne win. I know it's not going to happen, but that's just a long stretch.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Well, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. Literally anything could happen.
Right.
We're not going to act like WWE doesn't have the ability to do that.
Just do whatever they want. Right.
What I will say, though, I do like your Roxanne Perez, like wanting her to win, because I definitely feel like, man, it would be really cool. It just catapults her into WrestleMania massive match. Mm-hmm. But they have been telling the story with her and Bayley.
Right. So I think that's going to tie into the chamber.
Yes.
But I just want her to have a really good showing.
Yes. So what I actually think is very interesting here is that I really, really, really have a big argument for Alexa Bliss to win.
Okay. All right.
A big argument because
that's a different pick. That's a different pick. Bring it on.
So here's the thing. I'm not picking Alexa Bliss, but I have a strong argument for Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
Because Alexa Bliss, the Wyatt Six, at some point they're going to make that connection. It could make a lot of sense for Alexa Bliss to have this Elimination Chamber where we now start to see Uncle Howdy. We start to see everybody kind of return. Maybe you have the final two, which is Alexa and Bianca, or Alexa and somebody else. And then the Y6 surround the chamber. Nikki Cross jumps off a pod or something. Gets involved and then helps Alexa Bliss win, right? I think that would be really good just to get Wyatt Six back into like the mix, right?
Yeah, because they've been missed on TV. I think they would add a huge boost to SmackDown.
Yes. So
make it more interesting.
I think if you want to make a really good argument based on like the circumstances of who's in this match, I think Alexa Bliss winning thanks to the Y6 puts her on a different level. It puts the Y6 back in the mix. However, I actually do 100% believe that the winner of the Elimination Chamber is going to be Bianca Belair. I
Okay.
do agree.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been saying this for a while now. Bianca Belair wins the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
I think Bianca Belair wins the Elimination Chamber, leaves SmackDown, goes on to Raw. Now, the reason why I bring up Bianca winning isn't going to be because Bianca was the best wrestler in the match. I think what's really interesting about this, when you look at Bayley, Roxanne, Liv, and Alexa Bliss, you got to remember it's an elimination match, right?
Yeah.
So obviously Bianca, I think what would be really crazy, and this would be really good, is if Bianca and Naomi are the final two.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would.
And
be
the
really
reason
cool.
why I would want this is because I do believe, genuinely speaking, Bianca Belair should be a heel going into WrestleMania. So I imagine something really cool of the nature of Bianca Belair turning heel. But guess how it happens. Jade Cargill comes out and they reveal the footage. It was Naomi who attacked her. So Jade, being a baby face, goes after Naomi. This causes Naomi to turn heel. Obviously, this is the heel turn for Naomi.
And now Bianca has to pick sides.
However, I think she's just going to pin Naomi. She's going to take advantage of it. She's going to get away from them because she'll move to Raw and compete against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania.
Okay. All right.
Then what I would prefer to see, though, is that Bianca and Naomi were both responsible for Jade getting attacked.
Yeah. A lot of people are
this
saying
way.
That.
It just makes more sense for the transition for Bianca turning heel.
Right.
So when there's a promo, Rhea's like, you stabbed your friend in the back. You stabbed both of your friends in the back for this opportunity, something like that, whatever. I don't know.
So
it's very
Rhea can be the one to turn her heel by just pinpointing all the heel shit that she's done.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how they're going to book it. I do think Jade gets involved to a certain extent. I think Naomi and Bianca, whether it's both of them or one of them has attacked Jade, I think we get that conclusion at Chamber. And then I think that's obviously a big moment for the Chamber match. Bianca Belair ends up winning.
Yeah.
However, the biggest flaw with my prediction with Bianca winning that particular way is that I think in general, it becomes a little too over convoluted, a little too chaotic for this Chamber match.
Yeah.
So that's where I actually like the idea of them not doing the payoff at the Chamber match.
And maybe just doing it on like a SmackDown,
maybe even tonight.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it.
Maybe tonight
to make because that would make the Chamber more interesting.
Yes, because I think if you're doing all that stuff in the match, I think it's
because
too much.
That's WWE's thing. They need to do something with these go home shows, and they need to make them exciting.
So what they could do is have Jade come out tonight and reveal that it was Naomi, who attacked Jade. Bianca would be confused. Bianca would be like they could do this where Bianca's like incredibly confused and she's like, you attacked her? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Then Chamber match, Naomi fully commits to the heel turn.
Yeah. And
then Jade Cargill comes to Bianca's aid, takes out Naomi. That's how Bianca wins. However, if they do it that way, then for sure Bianca versus Rhea has to be babyface versus babyface.
Yep.
I don't know if I like that idea, but I do think Bianca winning would be great. And honestly, I'm going to say this is the one match. The only person I don't want to see this match is Liv Morgan. So I don't want to see Liv and Rhea again. So Roxanne, Naomi, Bayley, Bianca, Alexa, they could literally give it to any one of them, and I'd be like, okay, cool.
Right.
But yeah, my pick and your pick is Bianca. That makes sense. We have the Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens unsanctioned match. We talked a little bit about this the other day.
Where we think it should go last.
Yeah, it should go last. No lights, no LEDs, no sponsors on the ring. The ref shouldn't be wearing a WWE shirt. I want to see them fully committed to this being unsanctioned.
Yeah, me too.
We both kind of agree that they probably won't do that, but this is going to be the match of the night, in my opinion. I'm predicting it
1,000%.
And my pick is going to be very simple.
Go ahead.
I think everybody should know this based on my predictions that I've been having for WrestleMania regarding Sami and then what happens after WrestleMania. I fully believe that Kevin Owens is going to win this match.
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah. Floor is yours.
I think Sami is actually going to take the victory here. I think that everything leading up to this is telling me that Randy Orton is getting involved in some degree because of its unsanctioned. And
Sure.
I think that since they're not doing this match at WrestleMania, that they are going to 1000% do Randy and Kevin.
Yeah, we've talked about this
Yeah,
before,
it's
and
been a
we've both.
conversation.
Yeah, we've had this conversation where it makes sense. However,
Mhm.
I can't pick Kevin Owens and I can't pick Randy because I don't know. Like, yes, I think it's very reasonable that Randy does it. Sammy
Yeah.
wins. It's unsanctioned. It doesn't really hurt Kevin Owens. It
Mhm.
sets up Kevin
Because
and
the thing
Randy.
is, you don't have to tie into the heel turn just yet with Sami Zayn.
Yeah,
You can let it play out a little bit longer. It doesn't have to
for
be right away.
sure. For sure. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
That's why both predictions really make sense.
Yeah, they do.
However, what would be even better, in my opinion,
Mhm.
would be if Kevin Owens won, destruction, literally takes Sami Zayn out to the point where it's like you're questioning
If he's even gonna
Sammy's
return.
if he's going to return.
Hey, I like that. Hits him
And
with a pile
then,
driver.
yeah, like
on
I
the
think
actual wood.
like he gets written off TV for a little bit. I like that idea a lot
Mhm.
because if you want to start making SmackDown better, the following week, Kevin Owens, emotional. I can't believe I had to do that to my best friend. Why did you make me do that, Sammy? Why couldn't you just be normal? Why couldn't you just be my friend? Why couldn't,
Yeah.
you know? And then when he cuts that promo, Randy Orton RKO out of nowhere.
Boom.
Randy Orton the following week addresses Kevin. You took me out. You're a sick human being. You're this and that.
Slime
You're
ball.
whatever. And here's the thing. You build WrestleMania between them. It's going to be really good. Then we get to my prediction of, hey, Sami Zayn losing, written off TV.
Comes
And
back.
really, here's the thing. The connection is that he is getting his ass beat and getting written off TV because of his association with the bloodline and with Jey Uso.
Right.
So if you want to tell the story of, oh, well, now Jey Uso beats Gunther and Sami Zayn is jealous,
Mhm.
there you go. You just did it. Because then eventually Sammy beats Jey Uso for the world title and he turns heel. And that's really what it could be. But it only works if he's written off TV. And that's why I think Kevin Owens needs to win.
All right. Yeah.
But I like your
see it.
prediction. I like your prediction. I think both are really, really good.
Yeah, I think they make sense.
Yeah. That'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah,
but my
that's
pick is Kevin
sweet.
Owens. Your pick is Sami Zayn.
Yep.
I think both are very, very logical. Both are very, very good.
Mhm.
And I like the idea of like I said, Sammy, Jey Uso, there's that storyline. Sammy eventually gets the world championship, right, as a heel.
And I think regardless of the fact, that storyline is still what plays out.
For sure.
Yeah, I think regardless of the fact, no matter
But I just think
what
it
way
makes
this
it
goes,
better. I think
if
it just
he
makes it
loses-
better if Sami Zayn missed WrestleMania, which I know it would
loses to
suck.
Kevin, loses to
He
Kevin. It's
he
the
lost to
ultimate
Kevin.
downhill. It's everything's going wrong.
Yes, and it's all because of Jey Uso. So then
Yeah.
imagine the jealousy of when Jey Uso, you know what I'm saying? Like if he wins, bro, I'm telling you right now, no matter how they go about it, if they stick with that plan, it fucking works. It works so good on
It does.
levels.
It's the easy heel turn.
The sacrifice for Sammy is that he misses WrestleMania.
Right.
Granted, at 38 or 39, whatever it was, he main evented the tag team belts,
Yeah.
right? So
It'd
whatever.
just be weird to
WrestleMania
see
was.
him off the show.
It would be weird to see him off the show. But if he's written off, he has a neck brace, and they say, like, literally sell it to the point where Sammy is probably not coming back, right?
This guy's hurting.
Yeah. But I think the idea of it working out, like Kevin gets really, really big win here. And then when you see Kevin Owens on SmackDown, just like, I can't believe I did that to my friend. You made me do it, Sammy. You made
Here
me do
comes
it.
Randy.
And everybody just out of nowhere. You know. There's a lot of possibilities here. But I would just like to see for them to really, really, Kevin lost the ladder match.
Mhm.
Do you really want Kevin Owens losing again? Kevin is on the best run right now ever. Like, it's amazing.
I know. And seeing him continuously lose does suck.
Yeah. My pick is Kevin. Your pick is Sammy.
Sammy. Yep.
Yeah. Should be very fun. This is the match I'm excited for the most.
Me too.
It's the match that I think is genuinely.
I'm looking forward to it. I do think it should main event. They shut off the lights.
Yeah, no, it should be literally the last match.
Yep.
We'll see. I mean, obviously, The Rock is there, so we'll talk about that. But The Rock is there, and God knows.
Now, are we gonna
Uh,
talk about The Rock and the Chamber
Cody.
kind of mixed together?
Yes, everything
Yeah,
will be
okay,
there. Yeah,
okay, alright.
yeah. Sarit Mohanty says Josh Alexander to AEW instead of NXT, good or bad? Josh on AEW getting lost in the shuffle with such an overloaded roster. I have a lot of respect for Josh Alexander. I think Josh Alexander is arguably one of the best wrestlers in the business.
Yep.
I would love for him to be in AEW as a world champion. I would love for him to be at the top of the game, regardless of where he goes. Do I like the idea of him going to AEW? Tony Khan's going to have to put him on TV every week. If Tony Khan does not book him the way I want him to be booked, then you guys can expect me to shit on it, because I've met Josh Alexander several times.
Mhm.
He's a wonderful guy,
Mhm.
very, very talented, and he's finally getting an opportunity to be on a bigger platform.
Mhm.
This is a guy I want to see actually win. So for that reason, it's not about what company he goes to. It's just about
How you
whether
book
the
'em.
company he goes to is how they book him. He
Yeah.
deserves to be booked extremely well. This is not a guy that just comes in and does some random matches, potentially goes to Japan for a little bit and then comes back. No, this is a guy that, like, he carried a dying Impact brand on his back and had banger matches. So my answer is very simple. It doesn't matter where he goes. I just want to see him win and do good things.
Yeah.
Men's chamber match. John
Yeah, let's
Cena
talk about
versus CM Punk versus Damian Priest versus Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I'm going to start
Yeah, go ahead.
because my opinion has not changed.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre is selling his soul.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre will dethrone Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre walks out of the chamber and he wins. I said it the other day, the connection with him and The Rock. I think him and The Rock will do some really, really, really good storytelling here. I do believe that The Rock having this corporation, faction, bloodline, the corporate bloodline, I don't know. There's something that's going to brew there. Drew McIntyre winning the chamber is the right choice. I've said this too many times. Him beating Cody makes a lot of sense. It solves the problem of Drew finally gets his moment as a world champion, but he had to sell his soul to do it. It aligns with his character and everything that he's been through for the last year. I think you can't go wrong with any person winning this chamber match, because any person that wins should be the one selling their soul. So John Cena heel turn, CM Punk heel turn, Logan Paul heel turn. We said this the other day on the stream. Even Damian Priest, you can make an argument. So a lot of good choices here. Whoever wins is the one that will beat Cody, thanks to The Rock. And I think you just do it with Drew McIntyre. So I picked Drew. Very easy prediction. It's what I told you Monday.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
I got Seth Rollins.
You think they revisit it? Cody and Seth.
I think it's going to be Cody, Seth, Roman, and Punk at this WrestleMania.
I like it.
I think that they have Seth Rollins win here. I think we get away from, because the easy answer is kind of like it was with the Royal Rumble. It was a very easy answer. Oh, Punk should win. Punk should win.
Yeah.
Punk should win. It felt like the easy prediction. Even I predicted it. The thing about it is I think we're going away from what WWE really is, and that's interesting. When we talk about the favor, and now we get involved with the selling of the soul, right?
Yeah.
In some way, I feel like you can have Roman Reigns find his way into this with the help of Paul Heyman, to where CM Punk looks at Paul, says, "Hey, I need this favor done. We got to get this favor together." Then eventually, CM Punk comes out as the guy who sells his soul to The Rock, and then you get the corporate man himself, corporate Punk. And then what you could do is you can have Paul and Punk back together, and you can do that whole corporate thing. Because let's be real here, Paul Heyman ultimately is the corporate guy. He's the standard of what WWE really is in the corporation. He's close with everybody. So yeah, my pick here is Seth Rollins.
I don't think Seth wins it, but I think he mapped it out pretty well.
Yeah, I just think if you're going to do it, and if Seth does win, it's not like a bad look. Because again, I think just ultimately overall, like, CM Punk winning is such the easy choice when Ultimately, if CM Punk is going to sell his soul, he needs to fucking sell out.
I like the idea of Punk being corporate.
Yeah.
I like the idea of John Cena being corporate.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
Make the argument that Cena,
Yeah. Oh, Cena turning heel. Like Cena winning Chamber clean and then going to WrestleMania against Cody and turning heel and cheating would be amazing.
Oh,
but that's what's going to happen. Right. That's what's going to happen.
What?
No matter whoever wins Chamber.
Yeah.
And this is part of my prediction, just so you know, with like the Rock segment. All that's going to be is The Rock gets his answer. Cody's going to say no. And then WrestleMania, the person who won the Chamber sells their soul.
Yeah.
He shocks the world. So if Drew wins clean, he goes into WrestleMania with nobody thinking he's technically selling his soul. Mm-hmm. The Rock shows up, rock bottom Cody,
I think to have a really big marquee match, you have all four of those big names on the same card. In the same match. Because
a multi-man match?
Yeah, a multi-man match. I think WWE, they've just, I mean, you can even look at WrestleMania 41 right now, what it is. There's no hype around it. And if you want to make it more exciting, you give that match. You let all four of those guys be in the same match.
I don't know.
I could eat my words. I could eat my words here.
Yeah, I
could, but I'm not opposed to it.
Do you remember when Kevin Owens won the World Championship for the first time, the Universal Championship?
Yeah.
Triple H helped him and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're recreating that at WrestleMania.
Why not?
So the thing is, like, it just makes the most sense with Drew, and that's why I'm picking Drew.
Okay.
I love the idea of Seth and Roman having a singles match at WrestleMania. I like the idea of, what I don't like was there was that rumor that it would be Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania based on the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And I just, not that it's bad, but it's like, man, Drew had arguably the best year in professional wrestling out of anybody. So that's why I 100% pick Drew.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Couple super chats. Brian McHattie says, what if they have Cody sell his soul after a lot of coercion from family? Easy heel turn with taking away the stress everyone says Cody is showing. No, Brian, I love you, Brian, but no, Cody's not selling his soul. You don't do it with Cody.
There's no
shot. The thing about Cody is at some point you got to get the belt off of him. He won last year at WrestleMania. How do you do this in a way where you could protect Cody? The Rock cheats him.
Yeah. And this is the WWE wants people to believe that it's going to be Cody. That's the easy answer. But really, it's not that.
Yeah. So like I said, Billy makes a good argument with Seth. No matter what, whoever wins the Chamber is selling their soul at WrestleMania. Yes. The Rock is helping that person.
Yes.
So I think there's just more connection to Drew doing it. It makes a lot of sense. Drew winning the Chamber. As I said Monday, he's got that history with The Rock. The Rock was the one who re-signed him, gave him the sword. There's a lot of that could play into the story. But even at Chamber, you will not know who sells their soul. It will not happen until WrestleMania because you're going to hear it on commentary, whether it's Joe Tessitore, Michael Cole, Pat McAfee. I can see, just understand, hear me out. Michael Cole, that motherfucker, he sold his soul to The Rock. And Drew going on a lengthy world championship reign after selling his soul. It's perfect. It fits his character. This guy got robbed due to COVID era.
Now, like I said, that Rock Cody segment has to go on before the Chamber match, because this only matters if it's tied into the Chamber. With your prediction.
Yeah, you could do it either way, but it makes more sense for the segment to happen earlier.
Yes.
Because they shouldn't get physical.
Right. No.
They shouldn't get physical. It's got to be a very, very quick. Cody looks at The Rock, little back and forth.
Quick and easy. Yeah.
No. Yeah. And then The Rock turns his whole facial expression. He should go from happy to sad, negative. Oh, you just fucked with me.
Right.
And that's where you do some stuff. So
yeah.
Super chat from Tolino Channel. Drew pins Priest, Punk pins Rollins, Logan pins Punk, Cena pins Paul, Drew beats Cena to win. A lot of WrestleMania card to be built inside the Chamber. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't hate it.
I think that's fair. Like a lot of stuff here could be built. Like,
Listen, everybody here, man. I love everybody's predictions.
it's good stuff. Shout out
Yeah,
to Tolino Channel. D-Rec Tube says, ain't it strange Drew has been happy-go-lucky?
hey,
Drew is Drew, man.
I was about to say Drew's kind of always been that way, though. Bro's
Yeah.
just a psychopath.
Yeah.
There's
He's
nothing
good at
more
his
to that.
character work, man.
Man,
His character
really
work
good.
takes him far.
One of my first videos that I put out, I said the most logical heel turn of all time.
Yeah. Phil says, I think whoever wins the chamber is selling his soul. You sold me on McIntyre doing it Ango, but I just like Punk because of the history with Rock. Yes, that's another thing too.
I do not see Drew winning it, but I do love your prediction.
No. Listen, you don't see Drew winning it, but trust me, Ango writes for WWE, bro. I'm on the payroll. I'm on the fucking payroll, Billy. Come on, dude. I'm on the payroll.
Yeah,
They
you
pay
are
me the
not
big
selling
bucks.
me on that shit.
Nah, it's just listen. If you give me The Rock and John Cena being heel, holy fuck! You give me CM Punk and The Rock. These guys all have history with The Rock.
Bro, I know, and it makes sense for all of them.
It literally makes sense. So I'm very geeked about that for sure.
Yeah,
very geeked about it. But my pick is official. I told you guys Monday, so it shouldn't really be a shocker today. Drew McIntyre is winning the chamber, and I do think, based on all of this, I think that's why Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens has the main event.
Yes,
for sure. Women's chamber could open. You could do the women's tag team match after Cody and Rock segment, men's elimination chamber.
agreed.
And then right there you have your unsanctioned match.
Should we do a post show?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our predictions.
Give me Seth Rollins, baby.
We'll see what happens. We'll see who's right. We'll see who's wrong. Appreciate you guys all pulling up. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you guys for the chat. Thank you guys for the engagement. Thank you guys for everything. We will see you guys soon. Shout out to Brent. He became a member on the channel. Shout out to everybody. This is going to be a great Elimination Chamber. Excited to see what happens. And more importantly, excited to see if we could finally get bought into the road to WrestleMania. We'll see you guys next time. Follow Billy at youtube.com @BillyTKO.
What a damn guy.